Hey guys, Kirk here, and thank you for joining me on a new video on the channel. Over the past few weeks we have been building a shader for a river. It's quite a complex shader, but I'm glad it's over, to be honest. But this video is going to be the start of a few videos where we're going to build a shader for a lake. It does work out slightly different from a river shader, but it's not as complex and won't take as long to build. So yeah, that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to start with the opacity mask. It's a bit different from the river shader, and we're going to use 3 layers of opacity in this one, not just 2, and we're going to blend 3 colours together as well using the mask. But before we get started, I just want to point out that any textures or normal maps that I use in future videos on this channel will be available for free on my Discord. I say my Discord, I do share it with another YouTube guy called MR3D, as I'm an admin in his Discord server. So feel free to jump on Discord and download the normal maps and textures that I use if you're watching my videos, and if you are, don't forget to like and subscribe. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to open my content drawer, I'm going to right click and create a new folder and just call this lake. You'll see I've got another folder there with the river shader that we've made over the past few weeks. If you've not seen that, check it out if you need a river in your scene. Okay, so we're going to open our lake folder. I'm not going to auto save just yet. I'm going to open our lake folder. We're going to right click in here, click material. I'm going to call this KM Lake Master. The reason I call it Master, why is that highlighted up? Anyway, the reason I call it master is because we could just simply right click and create material instances from a master, as many as we want, and you could change all the attributes inside based off this master material. But this material instance, we're going to drag and put this onto the mesh. This mesh here is what I'm going to be using as my lake. If we go to wireframe mode, you'll see that it's not high in geometry, as you don't really need it for a lake shader. It's still compiling things in the background, so you don't need a high amount of geometry for a lake shader, not as much as you would for a river. But I will be doing an ocean shader, and in an ocean shader you will need to have some sort of geometry because we are going to be adding waves, and I am getting weird artifacts. There you go. So yeah, that's the mesh we're going to be using. Also, towards the end of this shader, I'm actually going to add this to a blueprint, so we can just drag a blueprint into the world and we'll have all our functionality within the blueprint. We don't have to keep opening material instances. So if you're interested in working with blueprints and shaders at the same time, then stay tuned. Anyway, moving on, let's open our shader up, our master material. First things we need to do is to change some properties in the left hand side here. I did this, it's exactly the same for the river shader that we did, but I'll go through it quick. If you want more of an explanation, then check the river shader out, river shader tutorials out as I go into detail. But we're going to change this to the blend mode to translucent. I'm going to enable screen space reflections. What screen space reflections do, it reflects onto the surface of our water what the camera can see in the scene. So this camera here, I was looking at these trees and the grass and the rocks, it will try and reflect them onto the surface of our translucent shader. So I'll enable that. You'll see volumetric non-directional in our lighting mode. We need to change this to surface translucent volume, as this is best for glass and water. So yeah, I think for now we may change refraction in the future, depending on our build. So yeah, in this first video I want to create our mask for our opacity and our watercolour. Let's have a look. Let me have a think how I'm going to do this. Actually, the way I'm going to do this, the most common way that technical artists will do it. So first we need to calculate our depth. So we want our, where's our scene depth? We want our scene depth, and we do want our pixel depth as well, actually. In, so I do it in world space or just pixel depth? No, we'll stick with pixel depth for now. So I'm going to drag off here, and we want to calculate the distance between them. I can't spell distance. I'm going to scroll down, it should be in utility. There it is. We'll use that distance in the utility. We're just going to calculate the distance here between that. What I want to do now is get our absolute world position. I'm going to right click and type world. We get our absolute world position. How do I do this now? There is a function in Unreal. Let's get it. World position from, where is it? World position from behind. Oh, world position behind from depth. This can work. You would use this in a single layer water material, like I was mentioning before. Or did I? Can't remember if I did or not. It's in the shading model. You get a single layer water. You could use this function in there. If I open this up, you'll see we have our, it's pixel depth. Scene depth, and we're calculating. They're dividing it in here, but I'm going to stick with distance, and we're enabling you to choose world position, excluding material offsets. Camera position, actually. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to use that. No, I'm going to save that. I want to use this, actually. Yes, I do. I'm going to get rid of that. You could use this function, but it's quite difficult to get working as it's experimental. So for our world position, I'm going to subtract. I need to get our position of our plane. So as you can see, our plane is here. It's highlighted. Highlight the plane you're going to use, and in the location here in the details panel, you'll see the blue area here. That's our Z axis. We just highlight that and copy it, left control and C. Come back to our master material. I'm going to hold S on the keyboard and left click, get a scalar parameter, and I'm going to call this mesh world Z position. And in here, I'm exposing it because I want it to be editable within the blueprint once we enable that. In the default value, we're just going to put our world position of our plane. We'll drag that into the subtract. No, we won't, because we need to calculate our X and Y as well. Even though they're going to be 0, they do need to be calculated. So I'm going to hold 2 on the keyboard and left click, get a vector 2 in here. Just leave them at 0. And then I'm going to append this, append vector. I'm going to drag that into there, so we're appending our Z and X and Y together. Then we're going to throw that into the subtract. But we do need to also subtract that with our camera position as well. Right, so we'll drag that into there. And we also need to subtract, oh hang on, just bear with me, I've hit S instead of D, so it's going to save. Bear with me. We need to duplicate our subtract because we need to subtract our world position from our camera position as well. So we're going to subtract that together. Sorry about that, that's my phone going crazy. Just mute my phone. Sorry about that. Okay, so what I need to do now is to multiply these with our scene depth and pixel depth calculation. So I'm going to put them there. Get this distance node. So I'm going to hold M on the keyboard and left click, get multiply node. I want to multiply these together. and then we need to add them back together again. Add node. We're going to get this add node in, put that in there. So, is that right? I think it is actually, yeah. Not to worry. Can always come back. So now we've added this back together, I want to use a component mask to get our Z axes. I'm going to uncheck red, green, and check the blue. This is our X axes, as red, green, and blue curtail to X, Y, and Z. Now I'm going to want to control the fade. Wait there a minute. I don't want to add that together. I want to add that one. That's the one there. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't want to add this one. You just want to add our camera position and our plane position with the scene depth and pixel depth. Okay, that makes sense actually. Yeah, so I'm going to drag off here. I'm going to saturate node. I'm going to clamp these between 0 and 1. If you right click, type clamp. It's the same thing. With this clamp node, you can set a min and max instead of, whereas the default there, as you can see, is min 0 and max 1. You can actually change that with them if you just use a constant 1 vector. But the saturated node's a lot cheaper if you're just clamping between 0 to 1. Okay, so I'm going to hold D on the keyboard and get a divide node. This is where I'm going to set my depth fade. If I hold S on the keyboard and type in lake, depth fade. This one needs to be quite a large number, so I'm going to put 100 in there. And then I want my edge fade. So if I duplicate this, just put edge fade. We'll make this a relatively small number, like 1, and we'll put this into a power node on the exponent side, and we'll drag that in there. So put this here. Do I want to do the depth fade? No, we'll do the depth fade after it. So I'm going to get a multiply node and put our multiply in there. I'm going to right click and type depth fade. We want the depth fade node. This is going to enable more fading depending on our, you see with the depth fade, depth fade, we'll not call it fade, call it amount, because we're just increasing and decreasing the amount of depth and the amount of edge depth, if you like. Amount. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we can change the fading of each of these, so we have our depth amount and our edge amount, and now we can change these in here. So if I let me think. Yeah, so with this, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so if I get a scalar parameter, sorry, I just have to think. I don't rehearse my videos. A lot of you, if you're returning viewers, you will know that. So like depth, opacity. You see, they're not fading, they're blending, so I chose amount. Yeah, that's right. So depth, opacity, and then like depth fade. This is our fade. Okay, what I am going to do, I'm going to open my river shader. I'm going to find out what the values are set for that. Where are you? Our mask. As you can see, this was our river mask. So that was 2.1 and 58. I'm just going to use these for now. We can always change it, it's just to start with. We'll just put all 50 in there actually. Okay, let's put this into our base colour. See if it does anything. It should produce a mask. There you go, there's our mask. Ah, wait there. That doesn't seem right. My bad. I've not inverted it. So I'm going to right click and get a 1 minus. If I throw this 1 minus into there, now this should change it. It still doesn't look right, that. It's a bit weird that actually. Let's just try set preview here. Not letting me do it. Stop previewing. Let me change these to a 1 and a 1. This maybe needs to be higher, 150. I'll tell you what, I'll apply it and we'll see what it looks like in here. Better than that viewport. Okay, so it is working. As you can see, we're getting that kind of fade on the edge. It's very small. Let me open the material instance and let's see if we can change some things in here. We've got a depth, fade, opacity and amount. So if I put the 2 in here, 3, 5, 50, 100. See, yeah, if you look at this line here, you can see there's a bit of a fade. If I lower that number to 0.2, it's very sharp. 1, 2, 3, 5. So 3 looks like the max. 5, 10. Yeah, it just gets sharper. So if I put that to a 1, 2, leave that at a 2 for now. Depth, opacity 0. There you go. 1. So it is working. 0.9, 0.5. Yeah, it definitely is working. We'll go to a 1 for that. Depth fade 0, 150. There you go. 150. That's what I'm looking for. So 100. Depth fade amount. Let's do 1. Yes, there you go. And now the fading is working there now. If I increase that, I should increase that fade. There it is. It's starting to fade now. That is what. That's quite large actually. They're quite large values. Have I used the power node? Depth amount. No, I've used the divide. That's right then, if it's a divide node. I may swap it out for a power. But yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Let's see that fade. That should just be the depth fade. It's better with me, my Unreal is being dead slow. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm looking for. That doesn't need to be that high. So we'll put that to 50. Yeah, and we'll set this to 150. Yeah, there you go. If I come above here now, you can see we're starting to get a bit of a fade. Obviously it's just white and blacks, but that is what I'm looking for in our mask. And if I come down, you'll see it starts to disappear. It's similar to the river shader, but with a flat surface it does work better. Our mesh, we don't need to change that. This set to a 5, -1. Oh yeah, 1, 0, 0.1, 50. Yeah, we're going to leave that at around 20. We don't want too much on that, but that seems to be our mask all set up actually. Exactly how I wanted it. Okay, so we're going to move these up here like this. So just what I like to cram things in. Not cram it in, but I can clearly see what's going on. Yeah. Move them out a bit. Like so. Okay. we're going to do this. I'm going to just move all these up like so. I'm going to get our edge amount, move this up, saturate, right in. Put these right up to there. Put these just a little bit under like that. Line these up. Okay. Wait there. Let me just test something here. Let's go right click, get a power in here. I want to power these by 2.2 just to clear out the gamma. Just see what this is saying in our base colour. It should give us a more interesting representation of what we're trying to do with our mask. Yeah. Oh, still compiling shaders. Right, so yeah, that does look bob on. That looks exactly what I'm looking for. Yeah. Let's come back to the here. We don't need that anymore. That's just a testing thing. Okay, so if I highlight this, call this depth / opacity - mask. Okay. Change the font to 30 and the colour can be some weird colour like pink. What I am going to do, I'm going to just move this out of the way, scroll down here, we'll drag off here, put RER, we want to add a named reroute declaration node, let's opacity / depth, and now my mask is all set up. What I need is to blend 3 colours. If I come in here and put 3 colour blend, 3 particle opacity. Oh no, that's Niagara. Not Niagara. Niagara Falls. No, Niagara. So 3 colour blend. I want to use this. And I'm going to use our mask to blend 3 colours together. So I'm going to hold 3 on the keyboard and left click 3 times. These are our 3 colours. I'm just going to change them and find out which order they're in. Like so. And we're going to add the red into A. I'm almost certain that the A, B and C, that is edge, mid and deep, as in edge, lake edge, lake middle and lake depth. I'm almost certain it works like that. So if I right click now, you can see our named reroute nodes, our opacity and depth. Let's plug that into the alpha and we'll throw that straight into the base colour. This may or may not work, depends. I may have to sort the opacity out as well. Going back to our build worlds, but we should see some sort of colours going on here. And there you go. That's exactly what we want. So yeah, I was right. Our edge is red, our mid is green, and our depth is blue. And that is exactly what I am looking for, guys. Quite impressed with how that has worked out, to be honest. Yeah, come right up, you'll see it there. Right down. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. Okay. What I want to do now is to make these into parameters. So if I get the first one, right click, convert to a parameter, and we're going to call this lake edge color. So we'll drag this one up, convert to parameter lake mid color. I'm also actually going to add some brightness values to these as well. Lake depth color. Like so, I'm going to highlight them all and give them a group. This is going to be 0 dash lake dash color. I'm going to do it like that. And my edge is going to be set priority of 1, my mid is going to be a set priority of 2, and my depth is going to be 3. If you're unsure about parameters and groups and priorities. I have plenty of videos where I showcase using the groups. Oh yeah, I'm going to get 3 multiply nodes in here because like I say, I want to control the brightness. So I'm going to copy that, hold S on the keyboard to get the scalar parameter, lake edge brightness. Like I say, I want to control the brightness. We do that and then throw that into the A. Duplicate this. Change that to mid brightness, like so. To there, and then this one is going to be the same, and this is going to be depth. Change that to depth. And there, shebang, shebang, shebang. And now we've set up our, put that mask in there, we've set up our colour, our lake colour. So I'm going to highlight them all, comment, lake colour. Yes, that is the way I spell colour. Bite me. Okay, so we'll give this a random green, I think. Okay. What I am actually going to do while I'm here playing with the colour, I'm going to come to our river because I want it the same colour as our river. Let's highlight this, open our green up, and you'll see this hex code here. If you want to pause it now so you have the same colour, and take that colour, as you can see, it is 0000201F. F. Alright, so 0, oh god, made this awkward. 0000201F. If you put that down into your hex linear colour, you'll end up with the same colour as me. So if I put these as a default into each of these, like so, we'll get them colours. And we can always adjust them in the material instance. Get this one as well. Like so. And we can just move this out a little bit. Get these and move them out. Okay, there you go. So if I give them a group, yes I have. If I hit apply, they should appear in the material instance now. 0 light colour, the default colours set up. Okay, so I'm going to change these parameters group. What have I got? I'm going to choose 1 dash lake dash mask. I'm going to highlight this world mesh. I'm going to put do not change. So if I hit apply now with that, you'll see now that these have all, you can see if I hover over the mesh world Z position, it says do not change in the info area. Probably bad wording really for a master material, but still. So yeah, they've all been changed. Yeah. Okay. Okay. They are depth fade. They're fine. Okay, let's hit apply. Come back. You'll see now we've got our colours. We'll just let it update. Okay, so now they're compiled and I've done an auto save. You'll see I've missed out the brightness for our colours. Let me just go in quickly and edit them. These are in the lake colour, so I'm going to put them still in that category as well. Lake colour, so that's going to be 1. I'm going to put the brightness to 2. And the mid is going to be 3. The brightness is going to be 4. the depth is going to be 5 and the brightness for depth is going to be 6. So now these should be separated with their brightnesses underneath. As you can see, it's black. That's because these brightnesses have no default value of 1. So I'm just going to go through and set these to a default value of 1. And now they should all show up correctly. And if we come back, and there we go. And it's not quite what I was looking for. I think it's because they're all the same colour, to be honest. If I go to my edge and just reduce this to 0.5, then my mid to 0.7. We're starting to see underneath there. So my depth colour, I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to put them on blue actually. Increase that depth to a blue colour like that. And now we can start seeing underneath. Shall I change this one as well to a blue? I'm getting so carried away, sorry guys. So yeah, these are parameters that could change off camera. It's just about having to play about with it. What I want to do now is sort my opacity out, and then this part of the tutorial is done. So I'm going to go 3 again. Should I 3 colour blend or 3 lerp? So I want a 3 lerp. Lerp 3 colour. Wait there. Decal. Yeah, I'm going to go for a lerp 3 colour for this one. And they're 3 colour blends. I want to blend them. So for a similar setup here, I'm going to copy these and just duplicate them. I'm going to change them from brightness to opacity. I'm going to highlight opacity and copy that. And then just paste it in here. Instead of brightness, it's going to be opacity. Okay. And this could be lake color, lake mask, and this could be 2. Opacity. Right, so. Okay, so I'm just going to plug them into there. Into there, into there. I'm going to duplicate this mask and put that into the alpha. Okay, so I'm going to comment this box and put opacity levels. Change this to 30. Random color, maybe that yellow-ish color. And I could just drag this straight into opacity, like so. They're all set at 1 as default, that's fine. And now I have like opacity. My material is just let our shaders compile. And there we go. As you can see now, we've got our opacity here. So if I start reducing this to a 0.4, there we go, that's lovely. Still getting a bit of a line around the edge, but that's completely fine. The mid can be 0.6. The depth can be a 0.95. There we go. And now our depth opacity mask is fine. And now it's all about just playing with the parameters. I'm going to try my hardest not to in the tutorial, but what we're looking for is evidently there now. Got our depth. I mean, we could change depth opacity here. I reduce that, you'll see that depth is going. I increase it. Leave that 1. Depth fade is fine, 100. That's fine there. Our depth amount 0, 1, 2, 500, 1000. It's doing nothing. 0.1. Just leave that 1 for now. Or what was the default? 150. Leave that 5. This can be 150. -1. Oh gosh, 1. 80. There we go. It's completely fine now. Happy with that. So yeah, that's pretty much the mask setup. I'm going to revert that back to green. There we go. Now it's looking a bit more better. So yeah, that's basically it for our mask, our depth mask and opacity mask. We're getting this line around the edge here. We could simply come to the edge and turn the opacity down and that line will disappear. Like so, which is fine. But we can better control that with the refraction. So yeah, that is it for this. In the next video we will look at applying some surface details like our normals. It's going to be a different way than when we did the river shader. We're going to use on this surface, and also we'll apply refraction. We could probably just use this logic from the refraction here in our master material here, and then we want to apply some edge ripples, and once we've applied our edge ripples we may look at foam, applying some foam to this as well if we want it, using our edge ripples. And then after that we will look at applying this to a blueprint. So yeah, if you found this useful, leave a like and subscribe. Them likes are very important to the algorithms of YouTube. So yeah, like the videos for me, that'd be great. And like I say, subscribe. If you have any questions, jump in the Discord, download your textures and normal maps, and ask me in there what help you need. You'll get a quicker response. So I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.